Hey everybody, welcome to Together We Harvest. In this video, I'm going to share with you how far I've come along on this greenhouse, this budget DIY greenhouse that you can use to store things, grow plants, extend your season, or in my case, put chickens in for the winter. You're watching episode 2 of this series. I'm not sure how many videos this is going to take, but if you missed out on episode 1, no worries. I'm going to bring you up to speed with how far I've come along, why we're doing this, and why you might want to do this wherever you live. Let's do a quick walk around. This is a 12-foot wide by 32-foot long greenhouse build. I'm using simple 2x4s, a lot of recycled lumber that I've had on the property, not too many boards I had to purchase from the store. All the boards on the bottom are treated. They're 3-foot sidewalls that support this 16-foot cattle panel trellis that I'm trying to outline right now. It is difficult to see sometimes in the camera. It is 4 feet wide, 50 inches to be exact. I need 8 of those that are gonna go all the way down and create this hoop house effect on this little DIY greenhouse. Later on, I'll show you how I plan supporting them in the middle. Eventually I'll get the plastic put on. The reason why we're building this greenhouse on our property is to make sure that the chickens have a better winter experience and therefore lay more eggs, and also so when we're taking care of the chickens, it's much easier for us here in Wisconsin. It also doubles as an actual greenhouse. So if we don't want to use this for chickens and we want to use this actually for what greenhouses were built and designed for, we have that option as well. The fact that we've got 3-foot sidewalls, it does give these 16-foot cattle panel trellises enough height on the sides to where they can meet up in the middle, or it makes this arch shape and it's not too low to my head. I did put one of the cattle panel trellises up just to see what kind of height we're dealing with. It's hard to tell until you actually have these up in position. And the way I put them up on the sidewalls here is I just took roofing nails, nailed them in about halfway, and that can at least hold these cattle panels on here in the meantime. It also makes it easy for one person to put the cattle panels on. I have marked the door frame already. It's 40 inches wide from here to this line over here. This star marks the exact center of the greenhouse from that side to that side. I'm going to cut off that, insert this treated 2x4 down here, this treated 2x4 down there, and it's going to frame out essentially the doorway leading into this greenhouse. Then at the top, the door frame will support the first cattle panel trellis from sagging in the snow or being wobbly. So if you see, I'm moving this right here, it moves very easily, but once we have that framed up, it's gonna be quite strong. I do recommend bracing your greenhouse at the midway point and at the end like I have here. Then of course at the beginning, it keeps your greenhouse from moving out from side to side because these cattle panel trellises, they kind of act like springs. There's a lot of pressure pushing out on either side of the greenhouse. I would suggest using T-posts, U-posts, or fence posts like this to secure the sides of your greenhouse. What this is going to do is it's not only going to keep your sidewalls straight, it's going to keep them from uplifting if you have a really strong wind. Now, to be honest with you, I don't care what you do to a greenhouse with U-posts or T-posts, no matter how much you strap it down, if there's a tornado or straight line winds coming through, it's probably going to at least rip the plastic off, if not the whole thing altogether. As you can see behind me here, we're heavily wooded, so we do not get heavy winds here almost ever. And I think that's important to realize because if you're out in a field versus here, you're going to really want to stake that down. Probably use heavy-duty U-posts, which are much stronger than these fence posts. The other reason why you may want to use a fence post or what's called a U-post is because they usually come with these little holes here, which I think is important, because once you line them up, pound this into the ground, you can actually screw it in to your 4x4 or your 2x4, whatever you happen to be using. Now we have the second trellis on. Easy to connect by myself because of those nails. Now what you need are zip ties to tighten the cattle panels together I prefer the stronger ones, but honestly, just use what you have. And then point this down where the zip tie meets in, so that when you put the plastic over here, you don't have this sharp corner piece pointing up and potentially breaking the plastic. So the zip tie is sticking down, it will not puncture the plastic. I'll eventually have to clip that off. Now I'm going to connect these two cattle panels to the framing. And to do that, I'm going to use what's called hanger strap. It's galvanized metal. Not that this will be getting wet anyway, but what you can see here is that it's in this coil. It's fairly flexible, and it's got these holes that you can screw a wood screw into this wood right here. But I chose to use this hanger strap because if we ever want to take this down, unscrewing this stuff right here is going to be a lot easier than trying to pry out those fence staples. For this, I ended up cutting a piece with 4 holes in it. Just going to press it down, secure it with these little screws and a drill. That's really all there is to it. You put a screw on one side and a screw in the other. Now we're to the point where I have 5 of the 8 cattle panel trellises installed on here. I'm working on the door frame because I've been getting really tired of hopping over what used to be a 12-foot 2x4 that ran straight across. The reason why I had that on there is to keep the corners tight in the front. When I have this solidified here and screwed in tightly, I'm then going to trace the part up here, the curvature or the general curvature of this cattle panel, mark it with a pencil, and that way I can put the hanger tape, which we talked about earlier, this stuff, and strap this 2x6 onto the cattle panel. So I hold it on here like this. I just run the pencil along this section. So now my board looks like this. There we go, it's on at the top. I screwed it in 4 times. Then again down here, toenail the screw in there, there, and there. So both the supports are up. Now we need to have a beam that's gonna go across. And for that, I'm probably just gonna use a 2x6 again, a rough cut 2x6 like these ones are. This one happens to be cut at 80 inches. So I'm gonna mark that on both sides. That gives us a line for where we want this header to go. And that way, we've got plenty of headspace. If I go through there with lots of stuff, this door is nice and wide, as you can see. Can easily get a wheelbarrow through here. That's the main idea. It's time to take this brace off. I've been waiting for this for about 2 days of working on this thing. Got a nice door in here now, that's super convenient. The front is pretty much done. You can always add more boards going out to the cattle panels. Some people prefer that. We'll see how it goes. You've got the hanger tape screwed down with 1-inch screws all the way down. I'm at the point where I have 6 of my 8 cattle panels installed. T-post to support this from bowing out to the side. I'll probably end up putting another one here and maybe there. Look around when we get to the end over here. Obviously we need another cattle panel here and there to get to the end over here of 32 feet. When we look from this side, lots of space, good headroom. That's what I was most concerned about, which is why I did 3-foot sidewalls instead of 2. And then this side is pretty much identical to that side over there. I still have to add hanger tape to this cattle panel. Again, I put 3 pieces of hanger tape on each panel. You can do more if you want. They're zip tied to hold them together with the sharp end pointing down. And we've got a really nice hoop house set up right here that you can use for your plants, or you can use for chickens, or you can do both. When the chickens go out in the spring, early spring, start putting your plants in here, or section off the back side for chickens, the front side for plants, depending on how many chickens you have. If you have a lot of chickens like we do, we have 32, you may need a bigger greenhouse like this. If you only have 12, you could do 1/2 the size from where this board is, maybe over to here, and that's all you need. Put this post here and the one over there at 6 feet, because this front part, I plan on putting pavers down, and that's going to be a spot where We're gonna store their feed. So it's gonna go, I'm gonna put pavers down up to this point, put a wall across, or just a fence basically. Chickens will be back there. We're gonna store their feed, put things that we need up here so it keeps it out of the weather and chickens are not manuring on it and all that stuff. So from that post to that post is going to be a really nice little area. You have to imagine another door, kind of similar to that one. I don't know if I'm gonna frame it out the exact same way. Then across the top, I'll show you how I plan on putting a beam across. It's gonna be pretty simple, but also really helpful, especially with the winters that we get here in Wisconsin. Stick around for episode 3 because I'm going to put this whole section here with pavers, like a floor, so to speak. Build a wall section in here, another door, maybe put that door on, and then that door on over there. We also need to put the hardware cloth across the bottom over here as well. I really appreciate you watching this video. Have a good one. I hope to see you on episode 3.